Everyone, can you hear me in the back? Okay, if you can't hear at any point, just put your hand up. Cool, thank you guys for joining us for the third ABC conference. It's really nice to be in person again. My name is Rachel. I'm going to be sharing with you some of my work that I've been doing with low frequency narrowband calls of wild common bottlenose dolphins in Namibia. So the study took place in Proberts Bay, which lies about halfway up the coast of Namibia, which is on the west coast of Africa, just above South Africa. And Proberts Bay is the core habitat for a very small resident population of bottlenose dolphins, and there are less than 100 individuals in this population. And this population is isolated from other Western African populations of bottlenose dolphins. And because they are isolated, this is very interesting in terms of behaviour and the geographic differences that you'll see in their behaviour. So the Namibian Dolphin Project has been working with this population for over 10 years with a long-term acoustic monitoring project, and this is mostly focused on signature whistles. And in their repertoire, you will also commonly see two other call types called pops and burst pulses, and then obviously also along with your echolocation. But there's still a lot that we don't know about the vocal behavior of this population. So this is a low-frequency narrowband call, or a bout of LFNs, and there's almost nothing known about this call type. And this was first described by Kruger et al. 2015 for this population. I'm just going to play this for you. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a really cool sound. If you didn't, I can play it for you afterwards. So the production of elephants in this population is very low. But elephants are produced by two species of bottlenose dolphins, so your Indian Ocean bottlenose dolphins and your common bottlenose dolphins. And there seems to be geographical variation in production and the structural characteristics and as well as function between these populations. So this call type appears to be innate and not a learned call type. So Proberts Bay is exposed to various levels of noise, such as shipping, tourism, and construction. So this is showing a power spectral density plot of average daily noise levels at each frequency from 100 Hertz to 4 kilohertz, and it's on the logarithmic scale, and it's taken from 801 minutes samples averaged over 3 weeks. So every day you can see that between about 300 Hertz and 1.5 kilohertz is where the noise is highest, which is the range at which elephants are produced. Sorry, I was meant to actually point that out. So they're produced at a very low frequency, under 2 kilohertz. So this is an example of what shipping noise will look like on a spectrogram, which can completely mask elephants. So in the yellow boxes there are actually elephants which are being masked. So why are we concerned about masking if we don't know if elephants have any biological relevance in this population? So if we'd masked a burp or a fart, it wouldn't matter. So in other populations of elephants, they have various functions. So they've been known to be produced during aggressive behavior, social behavior, and specific feeding behaviors. So this is an example of a Bray series detected by Yannick 2000, where this is a sequence of birth pulse and an elephant, and this is specific to when the dolphins are feeding on salmonoids in Scotland, and this is a very unique behavior to this area. However, Ridley et al. 2015 did not detect this in Proberts Bay. So no Bray series were identified here. So we still don't know the function of elephants, or if they are actually produced in association with any other call types like this Bray series. So why are we interested in these calls? So elephants have biological relevance, so they are functional in other areas. and they found, again, like I said, across within 2 species, across a geographical range. So we assume that they are functional in this population of bottlenose dolphins. So elephants are difficult to study as they are very low frequency and they're also not produced very often. And also Walvis Bay is exposed to a lot of low frequency noise, which again can mask these calls. So what do we want to know from the study? We want to look at surface behavior. So what surface behavior is associated with elephant production. Are elephants associated with other call types and sequences, or are they not? And also, if any, what are the effects of noise on the time frequency characteristics of elephants? So we collected data in 2 different ways. We did boat surveys from 2009 to 2015, where we collected acoustic data and behavioral observations as well. And then in 2016, for about 3 months, we had a moored soundtrack hydrophone at Aphrodite Beach. So using the boat-based data with the acoustic recordings and the behavioral observation data, we looked at associated surface behavior. And the predominant surface behavior that was the predominant behavior when they were producing elephants was socializing, which was about 70% of the time, and surface feeding as well, about 19%. There was also one instance of mating avoidance behavior. So this was presumed to be a female that was avoiding a male because she had a calf with her, so we assumed it was a female. And there were lots of elephants produced during this encounter, but we don't know if they were being produced by the female. So elephants were not always produced during social behavior and feeding. So if you look at the light gray in the bars, if you particularly look at the social behavior, less than 20% of the time when they were socializing, they were actually producing elephants. So this shows that there's some fine-scale behavior associated with elephant production. So what about underwater behavior? We limited by surface behavior with these boat-based surveys. So underwater footage and acoustic recordings would be very useful to look into this fine-scale behavior associated with elephants. So I looked at the moored acoustic data, and I looked at sequences using Markov chains. So a Markov chain basically will describe a sequence of possible events, and your events being your call type. So it basically calculates the probability of a call coming after or occurring after another call type in step 1, step 2, step 3. So an example of the kind of temporal patterning in the call sequence that I was looking for, so in red you have call type 1, in blue you have call type 2, so it would be 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, for example. So I extracted 58 call sequences. Almost half of the sequences were comprised of only elephants. You can see that in the picture on the left. Of the sequences containing other call types, burst pulses were present in 58% of them, and pops were present in 33% of them. But the Markov chain analysis showed no stereotype patterning in transitions between these call types. So this kind of looks like the elephants serve a function on their own and are not associated with other call types, like again that gray series that was shown by Yannick. So I looked at the effects of noise very preliminarily. I used both data sets, the boat surveys and the acoustic data. I treated these as 2 different data sets because dolphins have been shown to change their behavior when they're in the presence of boats. So I measured noise levels in the relevant 3rd octave bands. So I chose 100 to 400 hertz, and I measured minimum frequency and duration of elephants. So elephants' minimum frequency is about 150 hertz. And I measured noise within 1 second of the elephant. So I did this in CanGuide, and I got quite a small sample size. So from the Moore data, I got 26 samples, and from the boat data, I got 17. So again, these are preliminary results. Okay, so minimum frequency at your third octave band is where on the right, your center frequency of the octave band is 100 hertz, and then on the left, the center frequency being 125 hertz. The minimum frequency of the call increased with increasing noise. And this was only found in the boat data, where a lot of the noise level was above 110 decibels. And then again, minimum frequency at the third octave band, where 316 hertz was the center frequency. So, like the slide before, minimum frequency increase with increasing noise, but at this level, minimum frequency starts to decrease with increasing noise, and this could potentially be to increase the frequency range of the call. And looking at duration, the third octave band with center frequency of 398 hertz, duration decreased with increasing noise, and this was from boat data again, wasn't seen from the Moore data, so where the noise levels were mostly above 110 decibels. So to assess vocal responses, to playback of varying noise levels is very useful using playback experiments, but a problem with elephants, particularly in this population, is that they're produced very sporadically. So in an example, for example, in our boat data from 2009 to 2015, so that's 7 years of data, we had 15 encounters where elephants were produced. So if anyone has had any kind of similar issues, or if you maybe have a solution for me, please come and have a conversation with me. I'd really like to maybe get some feedback as to how we can kind of get around this issue. Cool, so just to conclude, elephants are most likely associated with specific social behavior. So again, the evidence of production during mating behaviors. And adults of elephants appear to serve a function on their own. And so far, there's no evidence of stereotyped sequences. And preliminarily, noise levels affect time frequency characteristics of elephants. And this is important in terms of anthropogenic impacts of vocal communication of the species.